Hi, my name is Dagmar, and I'm a clairvoyant spiritual healer, teacher, author, and speaker. And today I want to talk to you about twin flames as an introduction to what is a twin flame. I know twin flames right now are coming together by record numbers, and it's some interesting times right now. We're moving through some changing energies, and I believe that twin flames are coming together for the purpose of spiritual growth, healing, emotionally, physically, and mentally, and resolving their karma, and also to serve in service to mankind, to assist in this transition that we're moving through spiritually in these changing times. And so perhaps you have heard of the term twin flame, perhaps you haven't. But what is a twin flame? I am going to explain it in comparison to soulmate, and so I am going to talk to you a little bit about what a soulmate is first. A soulmate, to the contrary of popular belief, is not necessarily your ideal partner, but rather a soulmate is somebody you have known from past lifetimes. We tend to travel in soul groups, and so we establish soul friends, people we're friends with, or souls we're friends with, and we keep reincarnating with those same people in different lifetimes, playing different roles for each other, and thus they're our soulmates. And so we help each other learn different lessons that we signed up to learn as souls in the different lives. And so, quite often we meet a person and we feel like we've known them for a very long time, even though we just met them, and that's because you probably do know them. And so that's a soulmate. Now we can have multiple soulmates, and anybody can really be our soulmate. It could be our parent, it could be our child, it could be our brother or sister, or it could be a friend, or it could be your lover. So that's a soulmate. Now in comparison to that, a twin flame is somebody you were born as one soul with, and that soul divided itself into two parts to experience itself in relationship. And so thus the twin, there's two of you there, so you only have one twin. And I'm not sure that everybody has necessarily a twin flame, but nonetheless, in the spiritual world, I suppose, I've learned over time that anything's possible, so the soul can divide itself into more than two parts. Just like we can have triplets or quadruplets, the soul could divide itself in 4 or 3 parts or 5 parts. But generally speaking, a twin flame is 2. And so you only have one twin if you have a twin. And so it's very comparable to a twin in the physical world from the same egg, in that you have this incredible bond on the soul level with this person, because this other person is literally the other half of your soul, and you know them very intimately, and they know you very intimately because you're the same soul. And you'll never have that experience with anybody else. And so twin flames can read each other's thoughts like nothing, and they can sense each other long distance. They have a very unconditional love for each other, and no matter what they've done to each other in past lifetimes for the purpose of whatever experience they wanted to have, they will always love each other on a soul level, and they will always come back to each other when karma permits and timing is right. And but it's a relationship that can't be really romanticized. A lot of people romanticize twin flames. It's probably the most difficult relationship that exists, because twin flames represent 100% mirror to each other. Where some people may mirror certain aspects of you, twin flames will mirror 100% of you to you. And what that means is that they also mirror all your energy of unresolved pain that you're carrying, which is your karma. And so it's almost like stabbing a knife into an already soul wound. And so it can be very painful. And you know, my experience has been that sometimes twin flames, it's scary, you know, meeting your twin flame. One is because there's such an intimacy there and such a closeness, and, you know, like you will not experience with anybody else. And at the same time, you know, mirroring the karma to you and the energy that you're carrying can be scary and painful too. So we have a tendency to sometimes run away from that. And sometimes twin flames do. They separate because they it's hard for them to be around each other because of that. And I know that, like, the difference between, for example, soulmates and a romantic soulmate relationship, it's a much more peaceful, calm type of relationship, whereas in twin flames, they tend to challenge each other. They get under each other's skin, again, for the purpose of spiritual growth and healing old karma, and, you know, healing emotionally, physically, and spiritually, and then being in service to mankind, in particularly now in the transition of the changing energies. That's why lots of twin flames are coming together right now. And so the biggest difference I gather between soulmates and twin flames is probably the intensity. Twin flames tend to magnify everything by like 100-fold, and that includes their love for each other as well as their baggage again. And so if there is a lot of baggage between two twin flames, it becomes unbearable to be around each other. So anyway, I've had my personal experience with twin flames, and I've met mine back in 2005, and it was such a bizarre experience, actually, that I was called upon to write a book about it. This is my book. I'll just show you real quick. It's called Meeting My Twin Flame, A True Story. It took me about 10 years to write it. I had to live it, experience it, digest it, heal it, and then actually write the book so that it's you know, presentable to the reader. And so last year, about a year ago, I published it finally. It's available on Amazon. It's also available on my website, which I will give you at the end of this video. And I also have a Facebook page, if you're on Facebook, called Twin Flame Relationships, where I post different blurbs about the twin flame relationships. If you want more information, I would suggest visit that page and like it, and stay in touch. And anyway, you know, so I had my own personal experience with my twin flame, and there was definitely a certain amount of intensity there that I have not experienced before or since. And at some point I worked with a shaman for 8 months and trying to figure out what this man was doing in my life, because I had no explanation in the physical world what was going on, and it was so bizarre. And you know, he told me when he met his twin flame, they literally blew up a car engine together because of their intensity. And so that's probably the biggest difference between like soulmates as opposed to twin flames, the whole intensity part of it. And sometimes I remember, you know, I felt like being stuck between the wall and the hard rock, because it hurt so bad separating from my twin flame, and at the same time it sometimes hurts so bad being around him, because the separation in itself, you know, you probably have experienced also many different losses with your twin flame, having lived different lifetimes, and so have I. And so the unhealed, unresolved stuff, pain is still there, and so it acts as cumulative interest, if you will, and it adds to the intensity of every separation thereafter. And so I remember when we were going through the stage of meeting, and then he was with me for a while, and then he left again, and I remember feeling like somebody stuck a dagger through my heart and ran 10 trucks over me. It was just unbelievable. And the same thing when you're around them, they keep mirroring the unresolved stuff to you, and so you're in pain with them, or you're pain when you separate from them, and so thus you're stuck between the rock and the hard wall. And the only relief that and I quickly figured this out, the only relief I ever got was spiritually healing my unresolved experiences. And that's really the purpose of the relationship between twin flames, right? And that was the part that was relieving, and it actually improves your relationship with your twin flame, and it makes it more bearable, and you can enjoy each other's love more as you're working on yourself and healing the past stuff, and growing spiritually. And so if you are struggling with your twin flame, and I would highly recommend finding a spiritual healer who can help you with the whole process of spiritual healing and healing your old karma and your unresolved experiences. And this is not something that you're going to work through in a traditional counseling type situation with your twin flame, because it calls upon you to resolve your old karma. And your old karma can come from many different lifetimes you've had, and so it requires you to heal that, the stuff that's coming from your past lifetimes, and it's not something that you're going to do with traditional counseling. So I would highly recommend a spiritual healer to work with, somebody you feel comfortable with who can help you actually heal that. And if you resonate with me, I'd be happy to work with you. I do offer clairvoyant readings as well as private healing sessions, either by phone, Skype, or if you're in my area locally, we can meet in person and help you get to a more harmonious relationship with your twin flame, because ultimately that's the goal. The goal is to bring each other to completion, twin flames, so that they can aid in be of service to mankind in the current planetary changes that we're undergoing. And so that's the whole purpose, is getting off the wheel of karma that we've been living, so that we can move into higher dimensions. And so I'd highly recommend that. And let's see, what else? Oh, if you not sure if you met your twin flame, if you have questions, or you would like to meet your twin flame but they're not coming. Sometimes we have blocks around our twin flames that we've created throughout, so they're not readily showing up. Perhaps your heart is closed. It all depends on your situation. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that if you have questions about your particular situation, and you're not sure if you met your twin flame, or you would like to meet your twin flame and you're not certain what's happening, I would recommend perhaps you could purchase a 30-minute clairvoyant reading with me / consultation. I'd be happy to answer your questions, and perhaps you can also get to know me a little bit more or better, and see if it would make sense for us to maybe work together. And I hope this was helpful. as far as twin flames go, or introduction at least to twin flames, and I'll be doing more videos. Also, I'd like to do another video about actually spiritual healing, what that is and isn't. And so I would recommend please sign up on my YouTube channel to keep tuned for the next coming up videos. And you can reach me or contact me through my website, and that is www.thespiritualhealer.info. And don't forget to put .info is the ending to my website. And you can find testimonials from clients on there, as well as read more about me. And you know, feel free to contact me. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And thank you for watching, and I hope to possibly maybe meet you down the road sometime. Namaste.